it's my great pleasure to invite Lea Stewart, who is a full professor in the Department of Communication at Rutgers, and a long-time colleague of Jenny's, and actually our most recent chair of communication. So welcome, Lea.
Thank you. Daphne and I were just talking about avoiding falling, so we should all be very, very careful here. So first of all, I'd like to start by thanking Danielle and Alexa and Galena, who've done a marvelous job putting this event together. As some of you know, well, we all know, Jenny's such a wonderful person. It was very easy in some ways to put together an event for her. In some ways, though, it does take a certain amount of work with the catering and the place and everything else. So thank you so much for making this day possible for all of us. And thank all of you for joining us to celebrate Jenny's 34 and a half years of service to Rutgers. I like the half, it's like 34 and a half, very, very important. So I have the pleasure of being here throughout Jenny's career, and I can honestly say hiring her was one of the best decisions that the department ever made. And we've made some pretty good hires, but Jenny was really up at the top. I mean, it was very smart of us to decide to do that. I don't know how we got so smart, but we did. And at that point, obviously it's difficult to predict what someone's career is going to turn out to be when they're a new faculty member, but Jenny has exceeded anybody's expectations for what could happen in terms of an academic career and just personal support for people in the department. So I'm just thrilled to be here. She really has embodied the academic ideal of excellence in teaching, scholarship, and service. Sometimes people will emphasize one area to the expense of the others. Not Jenny. Jenny was outstanding in every single area. She's an internationally recognized scholar of language and social interaction, and she brought that expertise into the classroom. And she even figured out a way to bring it into the 101 classroom. So she took her world-renowned scholarship and worked in a way to communicate that to undergraduate students at even the very beginning level of our department, which was really quite extraordinary. Now, I remember at the beginning of that, Jenny was not jumping into 101, with both feet and going, oh, I'm going to do this, it's so great. It did take her a little while to decide that this was what she was going to do, but with a little support from some other people and a little urging from her department chair, she really blossomed and is really renowned for the kind of teaching she does in that sort of class. She's also, as Daphne talked a little bit, notable for the kind of service that she's done. She really did an amazing job advocating for us with the SAS Core Curriculum Committee, and believe me, I know those people. These were personalities you would not want to face if you didn't have to, and Jenny just plowed in there in her own forceful but gracious way, and we have a huge impact on the core curriculum for the entire university because of Jenny and her persistence and ability to persuade people who did not want to be persuaded at all. She's also been a wise guide for faculty. She's able to talk at very high levels of abstraction, but then also bring it down to the kind of mundane and give us the sort of advice that we need. One of the important pieces of advice that she gave me over the years: when you go to a conference, make sure you reserve a room on a low level of the hotel, because that way the fire ladders can get to the room. That's Jenny. She would always think, it's incredible, she would always think about the positive, but just in case, she was prepared for the worst. And so that's really been partly her hallmark, and things that I will never, never forget. So many of you remember Linda Lederman, who was the chair, Jenny's chair at one point. So Linda actually sent me with a little remembrance of Jenny to read. I have to get a little shorter now to do that. Linda Lederman invitation, because she don't look like that big. So Linda writes, Jenny Mandelbaum is retired? That's not possible. I just drove her to campus for her job talk visit and got lost on the way from her hotel in Somerset. But we did manage to find our way through Highland Park and take a quick look at various restaurants and places of interest back near campus until we finally found our way to our intended destination. So Jenny clearly was hired before GPS. And what seems now ages ago, I became her colleague and then her department chair and eventually one of her faculty during her time as chair. Linda writes, I witnessed her love of teaching and the management of the hundreds of students who piled into her Intro to Comm class each semester. I admired the ways in which she got the best from them as they discovered that communication might indeed be a wonderful nature. And also, part of the journey was that we shared the juggling of academic success and motherhood with all its challenges and incredible rewards. Jenny was, and always will be, a wonderful colleague and caring human being. I hope her journey into retirement is filled with all sorts of new joys and adventures, and I'm glad to be part of her journey. Congratulations, Jenny Mandelbaum. I think we can all second that.